channel. I'm glad that you could make it. So, here's what we're doing this week, besides, well, walking through the woods on a nice cold day. Here's what I have found. This is supposedly a 1970, stay. This is a 1971 case 444 that has been, well, I really don't know anything about it. We'll just go through and look it over, but let me get my cart from trying to roll away from me, and we'll look this thing over. All right, so this is a it's gonna stay. This is a 1971 case 444, not to be confused with an Oldsmobile 442. Get it? So anyways, it's a 444 because of, you know, the way it is. So this thing, I don't know. It's been sitting, but I don't know much about it. But there were some positive things that made me want this. So let's look it over and kind of see everything that I kind of thought. So it's missing the seat. And it looks like maybe some of the control knobs are missing. Somebody must have stripped the seat off of it. And it's pretty gross and cruddy there, but it has the lift hitch, which that's pretty cool. And I mean, chains, come on. These tires, this one seems to be holding air, but yeah, it's pretty weather checked and cracked. This one is, and it has maybe some air in it, I don't know. These tires are so stiff, at least that I've come across it. These tires are so stiff that even when they're like flat, it's pretty hard to see that they're flat. Go around over here, and it has brakes. At least the linkage is all there. We'll open up the hood in a second, but that's the point. Here is the fuel pump, and it looks to me to be a plastic fuel pump. So someone replaced that at some point, and it looks like, I've never noticed that before. That looks like electrical tape. Me and electrical tape, huh? So looks like someone wrapped the entire plastic fuel pump in electrical tape. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Front tire is flat. On this side, it does have both headlights, and they don't look to be cracked. Yeah, that might be bent. Go around to this side, and that tire is flat as well. Here is the generator on it. Looks like it's the original AC Delco Remy. But I was noticing that, yeah, nobody's oiled that in a while. Looks like the ear is broken on it, and the bolt's just kind of hanging out. So here's one of the reasons why I thought pretty good about this. That is brand new oil in it. Like, I mean, barely any use on it. So either someone was monkeying with it and changed oil, which, I mean, I don't know about that. or it's been cared for, so that's a positive. It makes me think that maybe this won't be too bad. Let's go. It's pretty clean underneath. I see it has some new components. That's a newer-ish coil. Belt doesn't look bad. It's missing a battery and battery cables, which, whatever, that's not such a bad deal. And then in here, this is supposed to be like 5W20 or 20. It's supposed to be 5W20 or 20W40 motor oil, not transmission fluid or hydraulic fluid. This kind of concerned me, but it's supposed to be 2 to 3 inches below the level. So, you know, right? And it's, yeah, 2 to 3 inches, but I can't tell. I think that is motor oil. I don't think it's hydraulic fluid because I can kind of feel the, yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's motor oil. So that stuff is, I mean, clean. It's, you know, my finger's the dirtiest thing in there. So, yeah, I mean, that was promising to me. Dirt dauber nest. So it's been here, you know, at least probably through the summer, I would think, because dirt daubers had to have a time, but I don't know, maybe not. Why don't you go back? There you go. Okay. Clutch down there, that all seems to work. And it locks. So I think that's fine. All these levers feel fine. The throttle and choke move fine. High, low, what? Lucky. Shocks, pegs. So, yeah, no, there's no shocks. I didn't check that out, but, well, we have to get it running anyways first. And then, if you notice, it does spin freely. So, I don't know why they, I mean, I see why you pull the battery out if it's dead, but, and take the cables with it. So I don't know if they were monkeying with it and started filling up fluids and because that looks new to me. So I'm not really sure what happened here, or, you know, if they ran into something, maybe there was a problem and so they kind of just grabbed their stuff and gave up, which, well, I guess we're about to find out what the problem was, or what's going on with it. So let me get a battery. I did bring some stuff in my cart. I got gas, I got fluids, I got an old battery that's charged, got an air tank because we're kind of out in the middle of the woods and there's not really electricity out here, and I got some tools and accoutrement. So let's see if we can get this thing running, moving, driving on its own power, and make it a few miles home. And I really don't feel like walking back. So this is going to be fun. All right, first thing I'm doing, I'm airing up all the tires because I want to know if this is going to be a problem or not. Because, well, I mean, I only have 75 PSI worth of air in the tank. So filled up that one, and I filled up that one. This is the last one to go, and nothing wants to work right for me. Okay, so we'll fill this thing up, and then I want to get over Spider. I want to get to putting a battery in there, and then we should probably, that points cover looks like it has never been taken off ever, so maybe we should take that cover off and just take a little look at the points in there. So let me get this tire aired up and then we'll go to battery input. All right, air's in the tire. All the tires seem to be, I mean, they don't have major holes in them, so I think we're doing good so far. That's a positive. I figure since the battery's not in the way, there are, let's see, this connection here, and there's a second connection down in here. See if you guys can probably see it better than I can. Right here. So this one and this one are both loose. So that probably isn't good. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. And then I also noticed that, well, it's been arced across a few times. You can see some weld on it. And then I thought when I was, let me go see if I can find it. Hold on one second. All right. So these, and those are pretty clean. I mean, they're pretty, they haven't been in the dirt all that long, I don't think. But anyways, they were laying down here by that tire, and I'm kind of thinking something like that, maybe, or, oh yeah, you can see where it's burnt there, and then it's, oh yeah, it's arced on that one. So somebody was jumping the solenoid. I mean, you can see where there's actually wire welded to it here, and some like copper wire welded to it there. So I'm going to tighten up these screws, but then we might have to use these to start it, to crank it over. I don't know. I mean, has a key, but maybe the solenoid's bad. I don't know. But then why would you take the battery cables? I don't know. This is a mystery. So let me tighten down these screws. Flat tip screwdriver, a lot easier without a battery in here. And then I will try and throw my battery, which I really hope fits, because that's kind of, I mean, that's an automotive grade battery. So yeah, we'll see if it fits. I don't know. Let's, oh, here. That big. Yeah. Yeah. It might hang over a little bit, but it looks like something's been rubbing here anyways. So maybe that's, well, that cover can come off. So we might have to remove that cover to get the battery in and out. And then also half of the battery hold down thing is here. I don't see the other half. So, well, maybe I'll go dig in the weeds and see. Maybe it's down there on that side. I don't know. But let me see what I can dig up, and then I'll try and get that battery thrown in there. All right, battery fits. I had to take that cover off. There is no way it was going in. So you might ask yourself, why did I choose a Duralast 26RDL? Is it because it had the to-go handle? No, it's because I actually had that sitting in at my house, and it kind of had, you know, some charge left to it. So we just put it on the charger all night last night, and I hope it has enough to crank this over. I mean, I'm kind of really hoping that. So I need to go and dig through these leaves. I can put the cover back on. Well, actually, while we're here, I'll break that loose. And that wasn't very tight. Just see, since that cover's off, it's a lot easier to get to this thing. We'll just see what this spark plug looks like. Well, it's a little fouled, but, well, I'll clean that up, and then we'll stick it back in. It looks like there's definitely some oil seepage going on, and I also noticed it around here at maybe like the head gasket. Looks like there's some oil seepage, but inside there doesn't look all that bad. So I'll clean that up. Huh, it's starting to snow. Funny. So it's almost time to start wearing shoes. Probably not. So yeah, I'll get that cleaned up, and then I'm gonna go dig through all those leaves over there and here and maybe over here and see if I can't find the other half to that. I don't think that's factory, but that other half of that battery hold down, because that'd be nice to have. All right, sandpaper, carb cleaner later. That's back in. That's looking good. Those are tightened down. That shield's back on. There's actually, well, let me go to the other side. There's supposed to be a bolt here that holds this shield on, and well, it's not there, and the shield has like a crack in it, so I just kind of tucked it behind there, and it's not hitting anything, so I think that'll be fine. Wire goes back on, click, click. Sounds good. It's kind of crusty. So now we need to find that, or maybe not. I've been kind of digging through all of this, and I don't know. I'm not having very good luck with that. So how about I have a bungee cord. We can just bungee cord it in. Oil looks good. That looks good. So I think what I am going to do now is let's go over there and take that points cover off and see how that looks, because I can roll it over by hand, and I did bring a points file so we can file and clean it down, because this is, and I should have told you this before, is actually a Kohler K321A, 14 horsepower, and it is made in Kohler, Wisconsin, USA. And it's not, I mean, look, like, that decal is nice. Like, I think somebody took care of this, and then I don't know. I mean, like, some stuff is gross and grody and like that, but then, like, the oil cooler in here isn't really all that plugged. I mean, it's got some little stuff hanging down, but it's not, doesn't seem to be that bad. And then, like, you go back here and presents. Ooh. Anyways, this is gross. It's been sitting out here for a while, I think. I don't know. I'm almost afraid to open this up. And the bag is falling apart, so it's been there for a while. What do we have in here? It is a belt. A belt? All right, let's get in here. Yeah, it is a piece of wire with, those are shims for the clutch unit, for like the PTO. Yeah, it uses shims in the PTO clutch drive there to make it tighter, looser. That's cool. That's neat. And then a spare belt. Well, I guess we got a spare belt, even though this one doesn't look bad. Maybe it's the old one. Hey, I like the guy who had this. He's right up my alley. Okay, so we have that, and I was noticing it is not a diesel. Gasoline only. So we were right with that spark plug. All right, yeah, points. Yeah. Dog, squirrel. All right, the sun is not cooperating with my shot, but this is the cover here, and this is the screw here, and we just take that screw out. Uh-oh, and I dropped it, so we'll have to find that. And oh, there's another screw on the bottom. Well, let me get these two screws off, find the one I dropped, and well, praise the Lord. I can't even make this up. So I'm down here looking for the screw that I just dropped, and the screw is right here, and look what it landed on. The other half of our battery hold down. After I looked all over there and everything. I mean, come on. That's a praise the Lord moment. Come on. All right. Well, I didn't get that screw off yet. So let me do that, and then we'll look underneath there. Man, this is just going great. Okay, cover's off, screws are out, and that looks like a brand new set of points. I mean, there is, yeah, a little buildup, but I mean, it's not, I don't think I could clean them any better. It's brand new. They're brand new. So points are good. that's French fries. So let's put this back together and not drop either of those screws. I should lay something down. And we'll put that cover back on, and well, battery cables. We got to hook up some battery cables. So I did bring some stuff to make battery cables, and I think I have a couple old ones that were laying around that might be at least enough to get us home. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I'll put that back together, and then I'm going to go on to battery cables. Okay, covers back on, batteries in. Man, do I not like that thing. It's all adjustable and hinky, and yeah. Anyways, it's in there. It's not going anywhere, and it fits. This is what it came up with cables. So this is one. These are both ones that I had laying around. I don't even remember what they came off of, but I put new ends on them a while ago. I mean, they're only a little crusty. So yeah, they look like they're going to fit perfectly. And in fact, this one even has a curve that looks like it's going to fit. So need to put it onto there, and then I need to find a ground down there, and it looks like right here is a bolt that I can probably ground it out to the ground cable, and then we'll go positive. Just needs to swing there or swing this way. We'll figure it out. As long as the hood doesn't hit it, we're good. All right, cables are on. Ooh, goes down into the depths. So it goes down to there. That's good. That's good. So I think what we can try and do is, yeah, we got power to it. Try it. Nice. Okay. Don't want to kill that battery. That's how I get home. So let's go through the fuel system next. So let me get that all together, as this wind is just a howling. Okay, so back here is the fuel, and I think the wind died down for a second. So it's crusty and gross, and let's see if I can't, there we go. So I noticed, I checked this out, yes, before, but there is very little in there, in the very, very bottom. You can kind of see the reflection of it. And I don't know, it doesn't smell that bad. It could be varnished, I don't know. But, I mean, I could drain it, take it off there. So it looks like it, I'm falling in there. It looks like the line goes down, under, comes up here, and then it just comes up to the fuel pump, the plastic fuel pump with electrical tape on it and plastic ends. But anyways, and nice, that's the original clamp, and then there's a hose clamp there and hose clamp here, and then this line does not look that old. That looks maybe replaced. So I think what I will do is I will just take it off there and drain it out. But the inside of the tank does not look rusty. So that's a positive. We're looking good with that. So let me get that drained out. I'll just take the line off, and it should actually, if you look, it's on an angle. It's sitting downhill, so it's going to all drain out for sure. And then there's a screen on the very bottom. I can't see it with a camera, but if I look down in there when the sun's shining, there's a screen, and that thing is not clogged. So I think we're looking good. We'll drain out this old stuff, and then I brought that and the old Kix Bryant secret additive. Yes, it does have some lead in it, but well, I'll tell you that. I'll show you that as soon as I get this drained out. So let me get that drained out, and then we will start working on the fuel system. And while it's draining, I'll take that air filter off, and we'll just look at there, because It doesn't have a wing nut. Somebody put, looks like 7/16 on there. So, approved. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay. Fuel's out, fuel's drained, hose is back on, tighten down, da-la-la. Air filter assembly is not that gross. It's a little dirty, but I mean, to be expected. Now, I don't have any compressed air, but well, I have some air, I guess. It looks like it's kind of oily, but yeah. And somebody put machine screws and washers in here to hold the carburetor on, but I think, oh yeah, look at that, that's gross. That's like, yeah, that's oil. So, I don't want to know. Anyways, I do have some starter fluid that we could give her some huffs, but I would like to see if I can get it pumped. I put it this way, when I undid that line, fuel came out, but fuel also came out from the other end, so, or out of the fuel pump. So I think it was working. I think it might have actually fired for us, because I mean, all the cables are free. Everything looks like it's fine. And I mean, it's all covered in, everything on this has been covered in oil. So, you know, everything's been well lubricated. A positive, I guess. Yeah, so I'm going to put some fresh fuel in there. And, well, here's what I got. So, Case, with their K321 series motors, they had, well, there's like valve issues with it. So it needs cushioning for the valves. And some people say, oh, you know, this, that, whatever. And they make a kit, you know, and you can have the head sent out and put new valve seats in it and do. And I don't think this one's ever been touched, to be honest with you. I could be wrong. But Case, when you, from the dealership, you could buy a jug of fuel additive to help with that, with the non-leaded gas and all that stuff. So I've had a few of these K321 motors in the past, and this is what I have found, because I can't get the Case additive. I mean, somebody probably has cases of it sitting in their barn somewhere that they don't use, but I can't find it. So here's what I've came up with. Lead substitute, and there's about 3 ounces of lead substitute left in here, and I filled the rest up with 1202 diesel. I filled the rest up with diesel, and that's right, I pour with, you know, the 4 gallons, whatever that holds, and then I put about 3 ounces of lead, and then diesel. So you're looking at, you know, like 10 ounces of diesel. I have never had any adverse effects with it. I've never had a problem with it. I know you might think that's weird, but honestly, it cushions the valves, and I don't have the problems with these things overheating and knocking. They'll start like tick, 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 tick. It's like the valves are sticking in there because of the guides or the seats or whatever. So that's what I do. I don't recommend you do it, but that's what I do, and I've never had a problem with it. If you know something better, put it in the comments below, and I mean, I'll read them, but that has always worked for me. So let me fill that back up with, well, the junk gas that we get now, and put the secret sauce in there to cushion it up, and then I'll throw that air cleaner lid back on. All right, gasoline's in it. And before I put that on there, I actually put a snort of Cosby sauce, starter fluid in there. It's not gonna blow up the engine. It's just a snort, okay? Plus it's got diesel in there to cushion everything, so don't worry about it. And I know I shouldn't have put that back on, but this wind is just a howling, and I don't want leaves and junk getting in there. Same thing with that. I had 2 leaves try to fall into the tank while I was filling it. So this is not exactly the best area for a clean environment. So snort of starter fluid in there, clean plug, points look good. It cranks over. There was some loose wires there we tightened, new battery cables, and yeah, fuel. So let's see what this thing does. I'm going to call that a win. It barely even smoked when it fired up. I mean, maybe a little bit, but wow, that, wonder why it was sitting here then. Well, hydraulics still, I guess. So, yeah, look, that clutch is still spinning. So we can stop that. So even that clutch bearing is good. I mean, I'm hoping that the hydraulic system isn't jacked up on this. When I was crawling around underneath here, I happened to notice when I was looking for the screw that it does have some leaky hydraulic lines, but they're still leaking. So by them leaking, you know it still has fluid in it. So as long as it can build pressure, I don't see why that won't work. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get this thing turned around, start it back up again, get it turned around. We are losing daylight fast. So I'd like to get it turned around, and I'm going to try and get it out through here, I guess, and back up to the road. Yeah. The other problem I'm having, well, let's see. That tire's holding air. That tire's holding air. That tire's holding air. This tire, not so much so. So, I brought a tire repair kit. However, this tire has got a tube in it. And I have a plug kit. So, and I don't have any crowbars or anything to break the bead and try to fix that. So, it's been about an hour since I filled that up. 2 hours maybe, I don't know. It's been a little time. So it holds air, I think, for a couple of hours, and I have still like 60 psi left in that tank. So I probably have a couple more fill-ups on it. So let me get this thing turned around, and then I will well, I should probably put air in it first. All right, I'm going to put air in it and try and get this thing turned around. And then, well, we're going to have to get up through there, and we don't need those anymore. Well, we didn't need them in the first place, but we'll keep them just in case. Plus, don't litter. Don't leave your trash out in the woods. So, yeah, fill that up, get it whipped around, and then I'll try and get it up over there to the drive to get out. And it's getting dark real quick, and I need to hook my trailer with a bungee cord to that, and we get to go try and make it home. I hope the headlights work, because it is getting dark real quick like. Alright, it's kind of loud, but I look here. Looks like that's headlights. So that's nice. And then all I was going to do is load up my camera gear, of course, and I got a bungee cord that I'm going to wrap around the handle to that lift hitch. And I need to pack up all my junk and get going, and it is, I mean, it's dark is just a second away. So headlights work. I'm gonna get this stuff all packed up, and then well, I'll film as much of it as I can, but if it's dark, I don't know. So we got a few miles to go, and then well, enjoy. Good morning. It's another beautiful day. So we made it home last night. Minimal issues. It was dark. I didn't really get a lot filmed. Sorry about that. But I mean, yeah, the film quality was just horrid. So anyways, made it back. Only minor issues. First issue has nothing to do with the tractor. I blew out a trailer tire, so that took some air, but it drug along just fine. There's my bungee cord set up for tying it on, but it worked, didn't do anything. Problem I had was that tire. It is flat again. I had to stop twice to fill it back up, top it off, and one of the times I stopped at, pitch black, and of course, I brought a flashlight. No, I didn't. So while I was doing that, I could smell gas, and it was leaking gasoline out of, well, first I thought it was the fuel pump because of their electrical tape, if we recall, but then this right here is fitting. And on that fitting right here, it actually pushes in. It must have, you can see they're kind of serviceable or whatever. It must have been some one size fits all kind of fuel pump deal. And these push in, and they must have an O-ring, and then they snap into this lock. and this one was not snapped all the way in. So I don't know, I pushed it. I thought at first it was leaking out of the electrical taped area, and maybe they did too, and that's why they put electrical tape on there. But I pushed it, and well, here is the little square is like the little peg that snaps in, and it wasn't in. So it made a click noise, and the leak was gone. However, I noticed when I was looking it around, I don't know if there we go. The carburetor seems to have JB weld on it. Maybe if I get the hood open here. Yeah, so that is some kind of JB weld, or maybe I don't know, something. Anyways, it's got some kind of epoxy on it. So I think that maybe I could be leaking there too. I don't know. But once I popped that back in, the leak seemed to go away. But that is something we need to look at, I guess, before we do anything too much further, because yeah, that's a little risky. So, but I mean, approved if it works, right? So we made it back. Everything works fine. So I guess it's like, well, what do we do with this now? I mean, I got it because, well, I need to haul wood. It's just, this is the perfect size, I think, for getting down in the woods and pulling up, you know, like half a cord or something like that. And it's, I don't know, the chains are great. I gotta say though, running on the asphalt, once I got on the gravel, I was fine. But the asphalt, the gaps, there's like a bigger gap in the chain where they latch together, and boy, was this thing just bouncing. But it cruises in high range. High range works. Everything works fine that I can think of. I mean, I didn't have any issues with anything. So I need to get a seat. That's going to be probably the next step, is I'll find a seat and we will wash this thing and clean it all up, because I mean, that's just, it's gross. It's gross. So we'll wash it all down. I'd like to throw a seat on it, and these lines are still leaking. I mean, everything, just the entire hydraulic system it's just leaking. So what I need to do is just go through, we'll clean it all off, and then try and tighten them up, because I don't know why they're leaking. So, but it's not leaking that bad, because there's drips on it, and it's wet and gross, but it's not really going down. So I don't know, we probably should do a full grease job on it too. So I guess we'll do a video series on that, you know, lubing it up, tightening everything up. I can probably work on a seat pan and getting a seat for it. And then, I really don't know what else. I mean, those motor mounts are shot, but it's not bad. It doesn't vibrate all that bad. Oh, and yeah, that tire, it's got a tube in it, so maybe I can patch the tube. We'll have to tear that apart. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It made it. It runs great. It fires up. I mean, it doesn't burn any oil that I can tell. I'm just kind of, I guess we'll just have to start working on it and see what other problems we come up with. But it's not bad. It's nice. It works. So hey, have yourself a great day, and you know, I don't know, be kind to others. Have fun. See you later. Peace. I said la 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 la.